What's up, everybody? Good morning. And this is Monday, Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody. I hope you're having a nice time. And of course, there is no Monday night call tonight, but I thought I'd run through the levels with you. Last week we finished, a reasonable. I don't know. Again, there's, you can look at it a number of different ways, but I think the big thing to take away from the end of last week was there was a little bit of a hike and a rise in volume. Yes, we had a big sell-off, but if you remember last Monday, we said that there were to expect a big sell-off. Again, we weren't going to time it. We weren't going to try to play it, but we expected it because we were at a very overbought condition. So let me run through the everything that we're doing. And of course, the dollar, which we no longer trade. And again, I remind you, it's not because we don't trade it because we don't like the dollar. It's just simply because of the market, that it's too expensive, that when you have to get screwed by New York and one of their exchanges to pay an extra $120 a month. So we can certainly use the euro currency and others that are traded right in Chicago and don't have to pay all the extra fees. In the meantime, the dollar is in a downtrend, and we would look at dollar still 104 to 106. You're going to notice that a lot of the levels have not changed. So don't panic. Don't worry about it. It just is what it is. And we're still in quiet conditions. The euro currency, which is in an uptrend, and we are long. Again, the euro currency is the same, basically 108 to 110. So again, you're not going to see a lot of major changes. The notes and the bonds, which are still, we are still long. Now, remember, when I give you our position, that is only the position now. It has nothing to do with tomorrow morning when we reset, because we could be flat. Okay, we obviously won't reverse trend tomorrow. We'll either be in and long or flat. Okay, but again, you'll notice the 10-year hasn't changed, 108 to 110. The bonds have not changed, 116 to 120. So again, you're not seeing big change. The Bitcoin, which we are long, look, it's now making some new area and tight ranges, but it certainly is making higher lows. A little bit overbought here, so it's not a surprise that it's lower this morning. And remember, some of the markets are open today through the European session, and they're open electronically. So there's not much action, not much volume. But in the meantime, I think Bitcoin is still 64,000 to 76,000. Gold a little bit higher this morning. I mean, gold got thrashed, but take a look where it got thrashed from. It was extremely overbought. The selling is no big deal. We are short gold right here, although I do like gold over the next few months. Again, over the next few weeks, it could certainly go lower and take down some of this market here. So we'll see. In the meantime, in gold, I would look at 2,300 to 2,450. Now we have to give wider ranges because, again, you can see where the overbought and oversold conditions come in at. So that's why we're using wider ranges. Silver, which we're still long. And again, as we said last Monday, look for a pullback. Okay. Again, you cannot maintain this straight up movement and not expect some sort of pullback. Now it looks like we found some support around 30. I think silver is now 30 to 33. And I think it looks like it's going to 40. Platinum, which we don't trade as a regular, but I do talk about it because I do trade it, and certainly individuals can trade it. Very similar to silver, the straight up came down, found some new support. I think we're at 1,000 to 1,100. Copper, as I told you last week, I was going to sell it, and I did. And of course, look at the beatdown that it did take. And again, it wasn't that I have an opinion on copper. It was simply the price action of the markets pushing higher. And we're now right back at the mean. And it looks like silver is probably 470 to 512. Okay. The grain markets, corn continues to go a little bit higher. And again, this is, if you want to talk about a perfect market, the grain markets now appear to be perfect in as far as the way that they're going to move, because they are going up slowly and they are reaching levels of resistance, pulling back and making new higher support levels. I think corn is 450 to 480 right now. Soybeans, 12 to 1275, and wheat is breaking out, getting close to breaking out again, but very overbought. I would think $7 will be resistance. I think you're 650 to $7 right now. In the cattle market, which I continue to fight, we don't carry a position, and we are long all the grains. We don't carry a position, but I've been fighting this thing out. It's been overbought for 5, 6, 7 days now. I think 185 would be a level if I were looking to add more. I think it's 180 to 185. Feeder cattle. Again, the gap up is not a true gap. It is the changeover from to August. But I would think 264 would be resistance here. Hogs continue to get thrashed a little bit. It's amazing they've been down day after day after day. And let me just show you the actual July hogs, which I think are more valuable to look at right now. Okay, and July. Okay, so you can see that July's been down about 16 days out of 20. All right, and very oversold. Certainly, I will bet you that at some point this week there's a limit up rally. And again, this is just a percentage play. If you want to look at it, I mean, I am long, but I would suspect that you're going to see a big rally. Nat gas has moved up and, of course, got very much overbought and pulled right back. So again, as we look at it, we go, okay. So now where are we? We are long, but it looks like it's 240 to $3. Crude oil continues to head lower. We continue to be short. And I would think that 80 looks like resistance, 76 to 80. But certainly based on the economy, based on everything else, we could certainly see a thrashing here. Again, your wonderful leader is really sticking it to everybody. And of course, that's slowing the economy, but they can't slow inflation, which is a problem. In the softs, cocoa is starting to run again, but we're still short. Cotton is run. Remember what we said last week, 75 was an area we'd look to buy. Bang. It's very overbought. Again, I'm not encouraging anybody to trade the softs. I think you could find yourself in a market that you're not going to be happy with. I think at the end of the day, they're not liquid enough for most, and they require a lot of cash. But if you do trade these markets, certainly I would look for a pullback in cotton and look to be a buyer around 78. Sugar, which we're short, continues to go lower. OJ, which we're long, continues to go higher, and I would expect to see some pullback here in OJ. And coffee, which we're now long, and of course that is breaking out once again. I think you're at a key area. I think it's got to get through 220 to continue. I think you're 210 to 220. Lumber, which we don't trade, but continues to work its way lower. Again, this gap up is just a rollover by month. So actually, I'll give you the right score so you can actually see it, not be confused by the action here. Okay, there you go. So you can see that it's lower. Again, we don't trade it. There's no liquidity here. It's more of a benchmark of the economy. The VIX index, look, it had a little bounce and now it's back down again. So again, look, the markets are telling us that they still want to go higher. Okay, as much as and we're longs, but as much as I'd like to see them go lower, they're telling us you still want to go higher. I mean, we are short the Russell and the S&P and the Dow, and long the Nasdaq and the S&P. But again, you look at it, and then we will take a look at the S&P, and I think you're looking at the same levels, 5,200 to 5,400. Okay, again, there's not much to do here, and I have to give you wider levels because I have to account for some of those wild moves that are coming, and we are coming into an end of a month. We are coming into a slow period. We've got a short week. So I'd rather not play than play if there's not much to do. So 5,200 to 5,400. NASDAQ, same thing, 18,400 to 19,000. Russell, 2040 to 2160. Numbers sound familiar? They're the same ones I gave you last week. Dow, interesting, down at 39,000, which is still support, 39,000 to 40,000. So again, I warn you to not try to get too cute and not try to get too much, too heavily involved here. I think that you're always better to wait and be patient. putting yourself in that better position. I think that there's always an issue. Okay. And I think that, again, you have to be very, very cautious. Okay. When you're trading in here, because at the end of the day, you're going to find yourself making mistakes trying to outguess or outsmart the markets. Okay. In the equities, Alpha Papa Lima, which we are long, but as I said too, I thought that 192.50 would be a little bit of a hindrance. Again, it doesn't make it negative. You have to remember, we expect these things to happen. Okay. It's not like we didn't expect it. We expected a little bit of a pullback. And as I mentioned to you all week, is that you could sell a premium if you wanted to participate. I'm not telling you to reverse this, because again, right now it sold off from a spot it should have sold off from. So now the real key is we'll hold. And I think 185 is support. I think you're 185 to 196. Alpha Golf did exactly what we thought. Remember what I said to you last week? Don't get too aggressive jumping in to buy this. It's probably going to pull back, and I'll probably liquidate some, up at higher. But I'm still always carrying a core position. Remember, we don't trade this. It's one of my trades that I carry, and I carry a core position all the time to the long side. It is a play on silver, and it is something that I can, do and trade, and it's got very low risk. It's like trading a big option without time decay. But I certainly would look at $7 now. I think you're 7 to 850. Amazon, which we're still long. Look, it's starting to break down a little bit, but again, we've been flat as an actual thing, but it's still up there. And I think you're still looking at 180 to 190. Bido, Bravo, India, Tango, Oscar. Look, this is one we don't trade. I give you a few things to look at that relate to certain industries like Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin, if you want to play and you don't want to open a wallet, certainly Bido is one you can play. I do own it. I think you're looking at 26 to 30 still. BitQ, which we started trading at $3.47 here, and now just looks like a big mess. It's really, the big picture is 10 to 14. The little picture is 11 to 13. Okay. I would not be a new buyer right now of this until it came back to about $11 as it stands today. Now, going by next Monday, that could change, but right now it's $11. Coin, Charlie, Oscar, India, November, which we're long. Okay, we're reaching these overbought conditions. I would certainly be somewhat concerned. If I did have a long position, I might consider selling some call spreads this week, just to take off some of the risk if it does come back down. Okay, in the meantime, it's 200 to 240 still. Meta, Michael Echo Tango Alpha. Again, we don't trade this, but many of you do, so I do watch it. I think it's 460 to 480, which means it's too tight to trade right now. Okay. Google, Golf, Oscar, Golf, Lima, which we're still long. We're still going up. Okay. Looks like 170 to 180. IWM, which we're still long. Okay. Again, this looks like it's on support at 204 to 212. Moderna, look at this. Now, this is 100% a sale, but again, a safe sale. I mean, what I'd look at is to sell some deep in the money call spreads, and not because I don't like Moderna, but it's because it's gone parabolically higher and has been overbought for the last 8-9 days. Okay. And again, maybe they got something in the hopper, but remember, buy the news, buy the rumor, sell the news type of story. I have no resistance here. All I can say is that it's very overbought, and I will be looking for a spot to get short. Microsoft, Michael Sierra, Foxtrot, Tango, which we're still long. Again, pushed up to overbought. I think 435, 420 to 435 in Microsoft. Nugget held 40 pretty well. Still looks like 40 to 45. NVIDIA, big move up, breaking out. Now, they're going to split this. So we're going to actually be able to trade this and put this into our portfolios. Obviously, it's splitting 10 for 1 when it does. But I still believe that you're going to see some pretty big moves to the downside. Now, we don't carry a position now. And certainly, the only thing I could do here, if anything, is to sell call spreads. Okay, all I'm looking here is it's overbought and looking for a little bit of a pullback. We'll see. The Qs, Quebec. 450 to 460. We're still long. Square dance, Sierra, Quebec, okay, or block, we're still short. 65 looks like support, 65 to 70. The spiders, we're still long. Looks like we got 520 to 540. Again, there's no reason to believe that we're going to break down here anytime soon, and we could. Okay, but again, right now it doesn't appear they're going to let us see anything going down, and I'm telling you not to try to force it. Okay, the best way to play is to sell premium, especially the zero DTEs in the SPY, IWM, and Qs. And then, of course, on Friday, everything's a zero DTE that has weeklies. Tesla, Tango, Sierra, Lima, Alpha, okay, which we're long. Again, it's doing nothing. It's going to make a move. Remember, I thought we're going to make a move before last week. They're going to make a big move here. This is going over 210 or under 160. Win, Whiskey Yankee, November, which we're still long. Look, it's just vacillating in the middle of nowhere. I think you're looking at 92 to 100. XBI, nothing. I don't trade it, but I do give you levels every week. I think you're 87 to 95. Excuse me, 87 to 92. Excuse me. XLE, which we have a position on short. Again, expect a bounce, but look to sell that bounce. I think you're 90 to 95. If we got back to 95, I'd certainly look to sell it. And Zoom, earnings had popped, overbought. Now it's coming back, right back to the mean. I think you're looking at 60 to 65 still. So again, I don't know that we're going to get busy this week or not. I would be ready and be alert and be aware. I think that one of the big things that you can do is just remember that until there's real business, until there's real opportunity, you shouldn't be getting too involved. You must be patient enough to wait for the markets to give you the opportunities that you need. Okay, so everybody have a great Memorial Day weekend, and thank you to all who have lost those in the military and to those families. We appreciate you, and happy Memorial Day. And I hope this helps you out, and we'll see you back here, of course, next Monday with another Monday Night Strategy call. But for today, this is a Monday night recap. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later.
All opinions expressed by Tradier Hub contributors are solely the contributors' opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Tradier nor its affiliates and/or subsidiaries. You should not treat any opinion expressed by Hub contributors as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or to follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of their opinion. The contributors' opinions are based on their own personal research, but neither Tradier nor its affiliates and/or subsidiaries warrants its completeness or accuracy, and it should not be relied upon as such. Any trades or positions discussed or referred to by contributors may or may not be actual live trades or positions. Such information is not intended to be financial or investment advice. Tradier Inc. is the parent company of Tradier Brokerage Inc. Tradier Brokerage Inc. and Tradier Inc. are separate entities with their own products and services. Securities products and services are offered through Tradier Brokerage Inc. Tradier Brokerage Inc. is an independent subsidiary of Tradier Inc. All rights reserved. Member FINRA SIPC.